comes Kirsten. This is the weekly shopping.
Yep, cakes and chocolate and fruit and vegetables.
Hopefully.
And it's heavy.
That's good. Let's see what we've got today. Kirsten is already getting all the chocolate off the lid.
Yum.
Yeah, well, it's not fair,
Can't
is
waste
it?
it, not in Corona times. Everything has to be eaten
You're going to eat the cardboard as
and
well?
enjoyed. Almost, I'm going to lick it. Hang on.
Yeah, but we've got stuff. Oh, we've got some nice fruit and veg, hopefully.
Yep. Most importantly, chocolate. We're going to write it down. 4 bars of chocolate, 2 stalks of leeks.
Then we've got 1 pineapple.
1 nice pineapple for me. We've got, oh, that's nice, yellow and green bananas. Very good.
We've got 4 bananas.
No, we've got more. There's a whole docena. Yeah, that's perfect. We can put it in the fridge over there. Pineapple. Yeah, I'm going to cut it up if it's ripe enough.
Oh, we've got cauliflower. Well, the looks of it.
This can go. Yeah.
It's a docena from.
We put that. We leave that in the fridge.
So.
Let's have a look. Oh, we got broccoli and cauliflower. Looks like we got everything that was on our list. Superb.
Plus 4 bananas.
Cauliflower we need to eat up soon. Zucchinis, perfect. So, I had 2 piles. One is scattered by the dogs almost every other day, and then the one in the back is the one we covered up with a tarp. And we are supposed to turn it within 2 weeks. Now it's day 12 and it looks pretty good. I'm going to combine the 2 piles now, and I can see already I need to add a little bit more water. So, and then we let it sit for another 2 weeks and see what comes out of it.
We've been watching many videos about making compost. One of the main things is to turn the pile over often and to water it properly. It's quite a lot of work and takes almost an hour. Thank God we set it all up in the shade, because it's really hot in Colombia almost all year round. Good exercise for us. And now you know why we bought lots of chocolate. Next to the house, the others clear a patch for the new raised garden beds.
We're celebrating.
We're celebrating.
What are we celebrating?
We've got not only fresh bread, which is in here.
Yeah.
Cake.
Okay. How come we got...
Julia's made us a cake.
Oh, that's sweet.
Banana chocolate. So I went like this, I said, big hug, big hug. We're not allowed to hug. I said, oh.
I still have some work to do, but I'm looking forward to the coffee later.
Did I start the dog off? So yeah.
Yeah, maybe you did, I don't know.
So it was worth bringing over the rubbish because that's what I've been doing, sorting out.
Okay, yeah. I'm done with my mist pile and I'm sweating buckets.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, that's getting...
Mulberry tree. Mulberry trees over here.
Oh, they've replanted. That's good. Because it's the hummingbird loves this one there. This is our freshly baked bread from Yuya. This is the second one actually. We forgot to do a video and pictures from the first one.
And we forgot to do a video of the cake.
We got some cake today, banana chocolate cake. We were too greedy to eat it up. We forgot to take photos. Never mind, next time. So this is our bread. We're going to have some coleslaw with it. And I'm going to take a photo now as well.
Our quarantine is over and we are corona-free. But the situation outside our little world is really scary. There are so many cases and deaths now. Unbelievable how fast this virus spreads.
President Trump has warned that Americans are in for a very painful 2 weeks as the White House warns the country's coronavirus outbreak could kill as many as 240,000 people. The death toll in the country is now more than 3,400, surpassing that of China. The British government has admitted it has to go further and faster with its testing programme for coronavirus cases. It is set a target of 25,000 tests a day by the end of April, but so far only around 8,000 tests are being carried out. And the number of coronavirus cases in Russia has jumped by 500 in just 24 hours. That's according to official government figures. The Russian parliament has approved a series of laws aiming to slow the spread of the outbreak, including jail terms for those who break the quarantine rules.
As the number of people who died from COVID-19 in the US has exceeded 5,000. Vice President Mike Pence has warned Americans to expect a coronavirus scenario comparable to Italy. Britain has also recorded its worst one-day figure for coronavirus-related deaths, 563, a rise of nearly a third. The government is facing increasing pressure amid criticism over shortages of protective equipment for frontline health workers and delays in ramping up testing. And Italy has extended its stringent lockdown measures, but families are now allowed to take their children for a walk. For the third day in a row, Italy has registered a relatively low figure of new coronavirus cases.
The coronavirus pandemic has continued to spread rapidly, with more than 50,000 people now having died from the outbreak. There are also more than 1 million people known to have been infected worldwide. That is double the number from this time last week. New York City and Los Angeles have advised people to wear a face covering when they're outdoors. One of President Trump's chief scientific advisors, though, has said she didn't want people to get a full sense of protection through its use. 100,000 tests a day by the end of the month. The British government promises to step up the fight against the coronavirus as the death toll reaches almost 3,000. Elsewhere in Europe, Spain has seen the biggest daily increase in deaths in Europe as a result of the virus. Its infection rate, though, is slowing.
China has come to a standstill for 3 minutes to remember the victims on a national day of mourning. The outbreak began in Hebei province in December. The country has recorded more than 3,000 COVID-19 related deaths. As one of the largest hospitals in the world opens in London to treat 4,000 coronavirus patients, people in the UK are being urged to stay at home this weekend to try to stop the spread of COVID-19. Britain's Health Secretary said the advice was not a request, but an instruction. And the US government is now urging all Americans to wear face coverings to help stop the spread of the disease. But Donald Trump says he won't follow the advice himself. Announcing the new guidelines, Mr. Trump stressed that they were voluntary. The number of people dying there with the coronavirus has topped 1,300 in a single day. New York State recorded its biggest one-day jump in coronavirus deaths so far, 630. In total, more than 3,500 people in the state have died. Governor Andrew Cuomo warned that the worst is yet to come and hospitals aren't prepared. The government in the UK has urged people to stay at home as the death toll from coronavirus rose by 700 in one day, including a 5-year-old boy. There are indications that the spread of the infection in the UK is slowing because of the lockdown restrictions. And the two countries which have suffered the highest numbers in the death toll for coronavirus pandemic have both reported progress in tracking the outbreak. Spain reported its lowest number of new infections in more than 10 days. In Italy, deaths linked to the virus have continued their downward trend. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been taken to hospital 10 days after testing positive for COVID-19 and going into self-isolation. His office says he's still suffering symptoms, including a high temperature, and has been admitted for tests as a precaution. He's expected to remain in hospital overnight. Donald Trump says there is light at the end of the tunnel as parts of America prepare to reach their peak in deaths in the coming week. That's as officials warn the death toll in places such as New York is a sign of trouble to come in other states. And the Queen has given a televised address in which she urged the people of Britain and the Commonwealth to remain united and resolute in the face of the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking from Windsor Castle, she said countries around the world were joined in a common effort against the disease.
Here, the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has been moved to intensive care after his coronavirus symptoms worsened. He's been admitted to St Thomas's Hospital in London for tests after doctors said his symptoms were persisting. On social media beforehand, the Prime Minister had said he was in good spirits. President Trump has joined political leaders in the UK and around the world in wishing Boris Johnson a speedy recovery. Mr Trump says the Prime Minister was strong, resolute, doesn't quit and doesn't give up. He added that Americans are all praying for his recovery.
Stay tuned for more videos.